Hey, it's Microcasm, and we're back with some Sil-Q. In the last episode, we finished our character Ladros by escaping from Angband and returning the light of Valinor. So that was exciting. But everyone should be super excited for today, because in this episode, we're not going to play a character with a shining spear and scale mail that glitters like ice. Today, we're going to play a character that hides in the shadows and runs away from his problems. Alright, let's get started. So, new character. This time, we're going to play as an Adine. So I'm going to play a stealth pacifist today. And I wanted to not play as a Noldor, because when you play as a Noldor, it's always going to be hard. Playing as a pacifist is always hard. But I really want to try as best as I can to show the best practices for playing a pacifist. And so I don't want to give myself any wiggle room. I don't want to make it easy. I want to play a hard character and see how well I can do. So the people of Haleth are the best. They're kind of the natural pacifists for the Adine, because they have this stealth affinity. However, I'm going to play from the House of Beor, because I've won as a Haleth before, so I just want to, get a different character win. I think that would be fun. They have evasion affinity, which is also helpful, and they have the grace, the +1 grace, which is actually not as good as a +1 dex from Haleth, but that's okay. We're going to do it anyway. We're not going to take any strength, of course. I think we take 3 dex. I don't usually like to take Constitution on a pacifist, just because, taking Constitution's it's helpful, but I'd rather just never get hit, right, is the idea. But I only have 20 health as an Adine, and that means I could jump down a chasm, and that would, by itself, get me killed. So I'm going to have, I think, just 1 Constitution give me up to 24. So then if I have any armor on, I don't think I will die from a chasm. And then I think we have to take 4 grace here, because we can't, we would need another point to add to our dex. So we're going to add to our grace, and we'll end up taking some songs, I think, and we'll make use of that grace. We're going to take some evasion and some stealth, and we're going to spend the rest of these points later. We're not going to take any perception or song right away. Normally I would start with perception and song, but as an Adine, you don't really have any wiggle room for any niceties. You just have to take the bare minimum. Earth. Uthin. Earth. Okay, we're going to play as Earth. That's a bit, meta. But real salt of the earth, this guy. Alright, so hey, right away, there's some leather armor. That's nice. We're going to take dodging. Definitely, I think it's very important to start with dodging, and we're going to take disguise. Then we're going to spend the rest of our points on stealth. 1 point on evasion. 7 stealth, 5 evasion, I think is a good place to start. And let's use this leather armor. 8 pounds, it's a little bit heavier than I would like. But that'll be okay to start. At least we have some armor. So right away we see a Grimhawk. We're going to avoid it. And I'm going to just go ahead and get started about how I play pacifists. Seeing these animals, there's that Grimhawk up there, and then there's these wolves. Animals have a higher perception than humanoid monsters, so you definitely want to try to avoid them if you can. We're going to strike with control and direction. You can also strike with backslash interaction. You have to hold backslash. Interesting. So I thought that holding backslash would work, but that maybe that only works on Angband.live. That's definitely how you do it on .live, because you can't press control. In any case, we've already been seen. It was an Orc Scout. That's not too surprising, because Orc Scouts have a high perception. He's not going to kill us, but he is going to alert everything else, so these wolves will probably get alerted. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, I just wanted to get them alerted to show you. We're going to reroll the floor. Not a problem. Going to be real careful. Oh, we picked up that other dagger. Let's try. Oh, we have to first set up our options. Oops. Automatically dismiss more messages and no monster info. Automatically display drop downs. So now we can see our inventory when we press I, and it did not identify the dagger. Dagger of Murder +1 gives us +1 to stealth, which is pretty good. Daggers of Murder can be between +1 and +3. This one was only +1. So I mean, getting +1 stealth, that's nice. Not going to complain. Better than nothing, but only slightly better than nothing. I did inscribe it with !A. By pressing left curly brace, \A, and then !A is the key sequence, so that I don't accidentally hit a monster with it, because that would alert them. There's some wolves here. Because there's wolves there, we're just going to go down. We already found the down staircase. I just wanted to do a little bit more exploring and see if I could find some consumables. So early on, what you're looking for is mostly, I would say, consumables. We pressed Shift S to go into stealth mode, which moves at 1/2 speed but increases your stealth by 5. And actually, you can see that. You can see our stealth is 16 right now. If we go out of stealth mode, it's 11. So you can actually see that change in real time, which is pretty cool, I think. Most stealth modifiers you don't get to see in real time. So I rewatched my first video, actually, which is where I talk about stealth. And there's a couple things I wasn't 100% happy with. One of them is I said it's good to hang out in the corner because it increases your stealth. And while that is true, it doesn't actually tell you the real story here, which is that every wall that you're adjacent to increases your stealth. So being in a corner means you're adjacent to more walls, but it has to do with the number of walls, not just the fact that it's a corner. So we found a forge. Surprisingly, there's no other doors in that room, so that's the end of this side of the level. These wolves I'm really trying to avoid. There is this door up here, but we're not going to risk taking it. We're going to stop being stealthy while we're in the hallway, because you move slowly, and I don't want anything to be moving in the other direction and run into me. With this cloak on, we have 10 armor. For every 10 pounds of armor, you lose 1 stealth. So we're going to remove the cloak for now until we find lighter armor. And I just walked right into that wolf, but it's okay because they're asleep. Let's close that door. Got to be careful of this guy. If he sees us, we'll run away, and it should be okay, but we'll go slowly. Yep, there's the downstairs. I don't want to take the downstairs yet, just because I'd like to explore a little bit more. I don't love the idea of going to the right here, though. And the reason is, if I have this feeling that I'm going to go to the right, I'm going to get seen by something, I'm going to have to run away, and when I run away, that this bird will have wandered into the corridor and blocked me off, because they have very sporadic movement. Because their movement is sporadic, it probably wouldn't kill me, but it might. Even if they don't block me off, they'd probably be pecking at me as I try to run away. So let's just do a quick, well, it didn't matter anyway. Just do a real quick check there. I wasn't going to go down any long corridors and give the bird time to, to get into the hallway. Got some potions, that's super nice. While this orc skirmisher is walking around, we're just going to stand still. Hopefully he doesn't walk into us. Yeah, normally I would just stand still, because you get a stealth bonus when you're standing still, but in that case, it just seemed like he was walking into the wall. So I just wanted to get out of his way. Because one thing about stealth is, no matter how stealthy you are, if a monster bumps into you or you bump into it, they see you 100% of the time. So, which reminds me, in the first episode, I was just try to avoid these mulips. There's kind of a lot of stuff going on. Let's hide in the corner for a bit. If they see us, we'll just go up that staircase. It should be fine, even though there's a bunch of them. We're actually going to go down this staircase. We'll look at these greaves. The thing about greaves is that they're usually very heavy. Let's just see how heavy they are for the sake. Yeah, 7.5 pounds. So greaves are a lot heavier than, say, boots are. Or sorry, they're a lot heavier than, say, gloves. So in general, you don't wear them when you're stealthy, which I think is kind of interesting because it's like you wouldn't want to wear them anyway, right? Because they would probably make a lot of noise. It's almost like the game models that by making them heavy, so you lose your stealth. But anyway, in the first video, I was playing a stealth character. I shouldn't, just sort of messing around there. I was playing a stealth character, and I noticed that one of these dudes, an orc scout, was aggressive towards me instead of just confident. I noticed that, and he also walked towards me, and I thought, that's kind of strange. But, I was talking. And it's difficult to sort of parse everything when you're talking and trying to play at the same time. And there's so much I had to say. And so it was pointed out to me by Wobbly. He was a very, very good player. That I was wielding the bow of Lamoth, which shouldn't have stepped near those wolves, which enrages nearby creatures. So that's why things were seeing me. I also noticed later that things were seeing me a lot. So things were seeing me, they were becoming aggressive, and I just didn't even, I didn't parse it. And that was very poor playing on my part. But again, I try to give myself some slack as I was recording. This this floor is not looking great. But yeah, I should have noticed that Lamoth is the place where Ungoliant almost killed Morgoth. So yeah. Anyway, the orcs. So if a monster moves into a square that has a sleeping monster, they will displace the monster. So that group of orcs that just came in, they displaced this orc scout into the doorway. So now it's blocked off, which is pretty funny. There's wolves here. Yeah, we're just gonna take a bit of a risk. We could have hit the orc scout to wake them up and then run away. But I decided to just either way is a bit of a risk, and this way is I don't have to take this small chance that I might actually kill the orc, which actually, now that I think about it, might have happened, because I didn't really discuss this, but because I have a dagger of murder, it not only increases our stealth, but it grants you the ability assassination, which melee bonus equal to your stealth score against non-alert creatures. So very good. At playing an assassin is actually a lot of fun. Probably I'll do that at some point in the channel, but yeah, not right now. I've never won as an assassin style character. Now this is Gorgol. One thing about Gorgol is he usually appears with escorts. So when you see him, you can see he's got these dudes hanging out with him. It usually means it's going to be a floor that has a lot of orcs on it, because the regular orcs spawn and then his escort spawns. And I'm just hanging out in this room with like wolves. There's some orcs up here. There's more orcs over there. I don't feel especially safe, so I think I'm just going to go up. We were pushing the depth a little bit already, so let's be a little bit. I said I wanted to do best practices. Let's try to actually enact that. Hopefully this guy's just going up the stairs. Yep. Another thing I said in the first video is that it was surprising to see a mulip in the corner. And that is true. monsters don't usually go into corners, but I feel like I was giving the impression that corners are specifically a place that monsters don't go, and that's not really the case. It's just that monsters like wander, and they choose a point on the level that they want to go, and they go there, or they decide to go somewhere else in the middle of it, or they get there, then they just sort of go back and forth a bit. And it just sort of happens that because of how they move, they very rarely end up in corners. So you're not like safe in a corner. It's not that if you go in corners, I shouldn't have moved up there. Again, this is sort of the problem with talking. I should have taken better steps, but we're going to run away. They've not forgotten about us yet. Yeah, but they're not going to catch us or anything, so I'm not actually afraid for the character's life, but got to be a little bit more careful. Now this quarterstaff, I'm going to use it. Yeah, I didn't think it would identify. Most likely, it's a quarterstaff of Mithrim. But this guy's probably going to see us here because they're fast, so that means we have to reroll. Unfortunately, it's not good to reroll the floor so much because you're going to have a staircase collapse on you. But yeah, it's probably a quarterstaff of Mithrim. That's the most common quarterstaff. Ego, I believe. And that speeds your regen. So I think next time we get hit, I'll put it on. Or if we get seen, I might put it on if I need to regen some health when I'm running. The nice thing about quarterstaffs too is they have that +2 to your evasion at the end there. And when you're a pacifist, you kind of start seeing weapons as defensive. So like, what egos do they have that might help you? What is their evasion bonus? That kind of thing. Instead of how much damage they do, like you would normally think about. I don't like the fact that there are wolves here. But I'm a little bit wary of the fact that I've re-rolled floors so much. So one very common way to die as a pacifist is to do too much stair scumming and then have your stair collapse, and then you're on a lower floor and you have no stair near you, and then you get into a situation where you're surrounded and you have nowhere to run. Now, one thing we can do to increase our ability to survive that we should have done a little bit earlier is give ourselves one more point of stealth. And then I think I'm going to take exchange places early. So this will let us pass through monsters so we won't get stuck in the same way that we might have otherwise gotten stuck. Okay, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to try to explore this floor a little bit more fully and not be too afraid. However, we're pretty far from the stairs, so we got to be on our guard for sure. We can't take any risks. You always got to be aware of where your stairs are, and there are monsters in the intervening rooms as well, and that's a problem. Now, if we run back this way and then down, we've seen everything, so we know what the threats are. It's possible that some monsters will come through this door, like down here, and there'll be new monsters here, or some monsters will come up the stairs. So we're not guaranteed. But most likely we know the threats, and I think we can handle them. But I would like to find another staircase. This is a cursed sword. Cursed swords they don't have enough evasion bonus to be useful, but they can spawn with the murder ego. We already have the dagger of murder, of course, but we could happen to find a +3 curved sword of murder, and that would be a nice find. So we got some sleeping stuff in here. We're gonna go up. We're just gonna explore just a little bit on this floor. There's kind of this thing with exploring floors that I've found, where you're looking for rooms. So maybe you're on a floor that you don't want to be on for too long. You just kind of like want to maximize the number of rooms you can look at. So you just need loot, right? You need to like roll as many like open as many rooms as you can, so to speak. Roll the dice for item generation as many times as you can. Now this is a thrall master room. There's some thralls on the corner. There's some chasms. These can be good in a way when you're a pacifist, because you can jump down these chasms if you have to escape. We're not going to do that, but thrall masters have a really high perception. They always see you, it seems like, in the first couple turns, but they don't pursue, so we can just leave. So this is excellent. We've got another staircase, one here and one here, and we have a connection between them. What we're going to do is connect them in the other direction. There we go. And now we have two paths, and we feel safer on this floor now. And neither path is full of monsters. So that's excellent. Okay, sleeping scout, not a big deal. We've collected a fair number of objects so far. So let's take a quick look. Yep, 4 different potions and 2 different herbs. Let's drop the curved sword. We should identify them at some point. If I were playing a Noldor of Finarfin, which would be my normal pacifist character, I would usually, because again, like, you have a little bit more leeway, I would usually wait until I could take alchemy. And, Finarfin has the perception affinity, so normally I would take keen senses, which would cost 0 points because of the affinity. And then I would take alchemy, which would cost 400 points. And I would have, let's see where these guys are going. Okay. I would have enough objects in my inventory to identify that taking alchemy could potentially result in me having more experience than I had before I took it. Because you get those 50 points of experience per item that you identify. So, you have like staves and herbs and potions. And get a nice boost of experience. I'm very wary of these Crebain. Yeah. They move sort of sporadically. They move quickly. They have high perception. They can blind you. Let's let these orcs pass. Okay. And I think we'll probably go down another stair. There is a staff. I would like to get that staff. Yeah, they're just going everywhere. I'm gonna close some doors so that they don't like come in from behind again. Pick up this staff, and then if these guys are sleeping, you can always tell that they're sleeping. Just like they don't move for just a couple turns. Monsters move quite a bit when they're awake usually. Trying to pick this lock. Okay. Yeah, so we're getting some nice consumables. I'm very happy about that. So far, this run is going fine. We've been seen a couple times, but not put ourselves in any dangerous situations. We found a fair number of consumables. This is a vault room, so there might be some more consumables. But there are unwary wolves. Yep, okay, so we got seen. Dang it. Okay. We're gonna use the murky brown potion because we know it's healing. And we're gonna run. I moved up there because I missed an opportunity, I believe. So wolves, like birds, move kind of sporadically. So it could be that when we go left here, sometimes they won't follow you every turn. Like that. And there we can just close the door. Yep. That's one way to get rid of wolves, to shake their, shake them. So we are actually playing risky. I went up here because I knew that there was loot. I risked getting seen by wolves. I did it because, again, I thought it would be fine, and it was fine. But I shouldn't be playing risky, right? I should be playing best practices. The problem is, like, you can't play so perfect that you never take a risk. Basically, I think playing as a pacifist is like risk assessment and mitigation. And another thing that I wanted to mention about playing as a pacifist is you just have to like develop, I guess either logically or just through feeling over time, a sense of safety. So for instance, we feel very unsafe right now. We just fell through deeper into the Iron Hells. We're at 250 feet. That's as deep as we've been. Our minimum depth is 150 feet. You always kind of push it a bit as a pacifist, or at least I do. So I'm always a little bit deeper than I would be as a melee character. But we're a little deeper even than we want to be. And we don't have any stairs, but we just found some stairs. Now you noticed maybe when I was here, I started in the hallway down there. And I went upwards. And I went upwards because I could see part of that room. And it looked like no monsters were coming after me. Because hallways are dangerous. Especially in a situation where you're on a new floor and you don't have an escape route. Because fast monsters like birds, Crebain, coming down a hallway will catch up to you if you're running away. And then you're in a hallway and you have to run down, maybe 15 tiles or something in the worst case scenario with birds following you. A very bad situation. Now, we're at 250, like I said, which is as deep as we want to be. It's deeper than we want to be, but we're still going to go down. And then we're going to go right back up. And the reason is because one of the other ways you get experience in Sil is by going to a depth that you have not been to before. So the amount of experience that you get is equal to the depth in feet. So when we went, sorry, we just got seen there. I just wanted to pick up that staff. Yeah, risky, but we were so close to stairs. If you go down to 300 feet, you get 300 experience. I believe the way it works is if you're on 300 feet and you go to take a shaft, let's say down to 400 feet, you automatically get the XP for 400 and 350. I think that's how it works. So this cloak is a little bit heavier than the one we have, so we don't want it. Just want to do a quick review. We've got quite a bit of equipment. We might need to identify some of it. I still don't feel safe with the idea of taking enough perception to get alchemy. So I really want to get keen senses first of all. And alchemy costs 5. Sorry, it doesn't cost. That's not how it works. The prerequisite is 5 perception. Sorry, I put some caps lock on there by accident. So they're getting a 5 for the prereq is we can't even do that. And then we would need another 500 if we took alchemy right away. So what was the prerequisite for keen senses was 3. I do want to take keen senses. We could take it now, or we could add to our stealth and evasion. I think we're going to take keen senses. I think we need to have a little bit better, like for instance that situation on the last floor or the floor before it, where we got seen by a white wolf. That would not have happened if we had had keen senses, because we could have seen the wolf in the darkness. And now that we have keen senses and we have exchange places, I'm feeling a little bit better, actually. The first few floors are very dangerous. Because we weren't supposed to go down. We were supposed to just spend a very short amount of time on that floor. We're gonna go up here because I don't want to keep going up and down. We're gonna stair scum and then end up at 300 feet. With no stairs. Yeah, okay. Oh man, I don't remember what I was talking about. I know I was talking about keen senses and how we would have seen the wolf one tile away. Well, keen senses is super important because it's still possible for me without it. Oh, I do remember what I was saying now. But say let's go. We're going down a hallway, so let's do that. If we went left here and there was a monster in the darkness just outside of our awareness, and it went right, we could run into each other, and then it would see us immediately. So I would move, and then it would move. And yeah, it would see us immediately, and then we would be seen, and we would have to mitigate the situation. But with keen senses, you get that one additional tile of sight outside of your field of view, and so it mitigates that issue, or really removes that issue, even when you only have one light or one tile of light, as we do in the beginning. While we're waiting for some monsters to pass, let's eat something. We'll take that dried meat, because it's taking up an inventory slot. I was saying the very early game is the scariest part, because right away when you start, you don't have that many options, right? You don't have a lot of potions. You don't have abilities. If you get into a bad situation, it can just be over right away. This is probably a night thorn, but let's see if we can see it. Yep, there it is. How much damage do they do? I just want to see if I can run this way if I have to. 5d3, so we could take, I mean, technically you could kill us, because it's going to get 2 hits as we move into it, and then down into the right or down into the left. I prefer not to deal with it. We just used our Malorn torch there, by the way. Malorn torches are like low turn count, high light sources that you're supposed to use if you get into like a bad situation with maybe some whispering shadows. Is a way that new players often lose characters. We are going to reroll in this case because, well, we could actually go up and to the left. Or, I'm sorry, I don't remember now. Was there something up there? I think it was just the orcs that we were trying to avoid. Yeah, let's just go up. Yeah. Now we're at 250 feet, or 200 feet. We're in a bit of a safer area. I want to increase my my stealth before I get any further. I would like that shield. Shields are nice because it should do 1d4 armor, but it's usually lighter than chest armor is. So it's probably something like 3.5 or 4 pounds instead of the 6 of our leather armor. But it's still 1d4, and actually we could wear it with our leather armor, probably, and take off our cloak, and have 2d4, which is quite a bit of armor for a stealth pacifist at this point in the game. So I'd like to get it. Let's explore some of the floor in case the birds see us, and then we'll come back for it, I think. Now, I'm going to return to the point that I was making quite a while ago. Which I did, I guess, talk about a bit, which is just the idea of safety. So, I mean, we're still constantly in danger. At some point in the game, we're gonna have a pretty high stealth score. We're gonna have some abilities. Just moving very slowly here because these guys are dangerous. Maybe we'll end up taking channeling. I like to take channeling as a pacifist because you have to rely on things like staves to get you out of bad situations. And channeling will give you double the charges. I really don't like these guys being here because although I've mentioned in the past that monsters cut corners when they walk down hallways, so they'll never walk into us when we're in the corner. They're very indecisive about where they're going, and they could get bunched up and push each other into the corner, or just wander into the corner because they're being indecisive and wandering aimlessly. And if they do, we'll be fine. I don't think we're gonna die here, but I don't want to be seen. I don't want to lose this floor, so to speak. Now, one ability that I don't take that often is Vanish, which when monsters could no longer see you, if say they've noticed you, but now you've run away and they can no longer see you. Like you close the door, you go around the corner. There's a chance based on your stealth score for them to sort of lose track of you. And Vanish makes it more likely that they'll lose track of you. Basically, it's like your stealth score in that situation acts as if it's 10 points higher than normal. Normally, I don't take it. Just because there's a lot of other good stealth stuff, because your XP is at a premium when you're a pacifist. But I've seen other people take it. In fact, I've seen Hugo take it on combat characters and make good use of him. And I think it would help for us to like normalize the situation on a floor without having to use the stairs. And I think one of my sins when I play as a pacifist is too much stair scumming. And getting myself into situations where, you know, I might put myself in an unwinnable situation, basically. The other sin that I'm realizing as I'm taking a bit of a pause here is that I do need to identify these items. We're putting ourselves at a risk where some kind of bad situation could happen. And I could get out of it with, say, a quickness potion. But I have to just blind quaff potions because I don't know what they do. So what we're going to do is, I don't want to get hit here. I could walk to the left and then left and down. Then left and down and left. Pick up the shield. I would get hit by the bad thorn twice. If I did it that way. But I would put myself in the path of the Gorecrow. If I go down into the left now, I'll get hit by the mad thorn. And then I'll have to go down again, get hit by the mad thorn again, and then pick it up, get hit again. So that's 3 hits. Although I don't want to get hit by the mad thorn. I don't want them to see me either. So I think what I'm going to do is go down. I did not get hit. Down again. And again. And that time I got hit and I got confused. I'm going to go down into the left. It made me go down into the right. It made me go straight down instead. Let's go left. Let's go left. Let's go left. Go left. Okay. We're less confused. So, no problem. We didn't get seen. Let's put on this shield. 4 pounds in this case, which brings our armor over 10 pounds. So we can't wear the leather armor in the shield. This is a bit of a heavy shield. I think they're between 3 and 5 pounds, but I'm not sure. Oh, that's funny. We have to remove the shield, but actually, you know what? What we're gonna do is use the shield, remove the leather armor because it's heavier. And then, is there anything else we can use? No. Maybe we'll find some boots or some gloves at some point, and we'll be able to wear those because we have more leeway now. Sorry, we have I keep pressing the wrong button there. Yeah, we've got quite a bit of. We've got 3.5 pounds right now that we can work with before we take that stealth penalty. Let's do a little bit more exploring because these rooms to the left here are still near this staircase. So, and we've explored here, we've explored over here. This whole right side of the floor we've explored, so we know there's not there's not some crazy pack of unique pack of monsters following a unique that'll get us killed. That's just wandering around or something like that. We know that it's a fairly safe half of the floor. So let's just go looking around. Right away, this is a bad room. These wolves, I don't want to be running from those wolves, so let's just go ahead and go. We didn't gain anything there. Our minimum depth is 200. We're at 250. I think we're doing okay. Let's see if we can give ourselves more stealth. I doubt it yet. We need a little bit more experience. But at 250, oh, I let them see me. That's okay. Let's go back down. At 250, pretty soon, we're going to start seeing another sort of class of monsters. We're already seeing these orc warriors. and we're seeing the the Agrabah, which we were not seeing in the beginning of the game. Pretty soon we're going to start seeing like mountain trolls, wargs, that kind of thing. And just seeing new monsters is kind of a big deal because you get experience for seeing monsters in Sil, and that's a big source of experience for pacifists. And you get more experience for seeing new monsters, right? The amount of experience decreases every time you see another monster of the same type. The same for killing monsters. The amount of experience you get for killing monsters decreases. So after every kill of the same type. So I said I would identify these objects, and then I didn't do it. So let's do it now. This is not the best place to be doing it because we're not near a staircase, but we're pretty near, and I feel reasonably safe. So that was an Herb of Terror. We will keep the Herb of Terror that we have because, as you can see, it made us afraid, which means we can't attack monsters. But it also made us fast. So we can run away. We can use it as a tool. Let's use... Okay, we have an Herb of Rage. No problem wasting an Herb of Rage. The only use for an Herb of Rage as a pacifist is that it increases your strength, which might make it a little easier to pry a Sil. So I've seen people carry it around just for that purpose. But, well, that's not for a while. But the good thing about Herb of Rage is now we can take some potions. If we get a potion of Clarity, it will remove the rage and it will identify clarity. So far we have not identified anything. We're going to take the sky potion again because it's probably antidote. And now that we're poisoned, yep, we can cure the poison and identify. Cloudy is clarity. Excellent. So our rage subsided. I was hoping one of the potions might be True Sight. That would remove the blindness. But it was not. The blindness will go away on its own. Let's not identify the stabs yet. Let's just wait out the blindness. Press 5 a bunch of times and the blindness is gone. And we'll use this herb. And it didn't identify. Okay, we got some experience from that and we got enough to increase our stealth. We would like to increase our evasion, but we'll do that next. I really want to get sprinting. I want to get sprinting for the sort of obvious reason, which is it's really going to help us to normalize bad situations after we've been seen. There's really kind of two parts to being a pacifist. One is not getting seen, and the other one is escaping when you inevitably get seen now and then. So we want to sort of balance the two. We don't want to have like pure evasion and sprinting and exchange places and all the escape tools, but have no stealth. And we don't want to have pure stealth and no escape tools, because again, you're going to get seen at some point, almost inevitably. But the reason I want to take sprinting, not only to evade monsters, is because we have evasion affinity, so it's only going to cost 500, even though it's the second ability from the evasion tree. And then the third reason is you can do this thing where you can turn on stealth mode, get your 5 extra stealth, but then if you move, I think it's 4 times in one direction to get sprinting started, or if you move right, then you can move up and to the right, and then up and to the right, and then right. So more or less in the same direction. And you get sprinting started, then you'll be moving at normal speed instead of slow. And you'll have the +5 stealth. So it's kind of like stealth sprinting. So you have the advantage of +5 stealth, but you don't have the disadvantage of moving slowly. So very, very helpful. Okay, so some archers came up the stairs. I really wish we could find a lantern. One thing we might do that I've done in the past, probably couldn't do it yet, because we can't really spare any points yet. But one thing we could do would be, if we ever find a mithril item, we could melt it and then make a Feanorian lamp. Feanorian lamps are great on every character, but on a pacifist it's just super nice because it gives you a bit more information about what's out there. You don't have to be so afraid. So let's just take a look at light Feanorian lamp. It's a 7 difficulty, but we have a 4 grace, so we would just have to buy 3 smithing. Take jeweler, so 4 smithing because jeweler requires 4 smithing. So 4 points in smithing and then 500 points for the jeweler skill, and that would be enough. Now, there's a lot of stuff here, so I'm not happy about that. The episode's coming to a close. It's 46 minutes. Let's try to not get ourselves killed. Now, I could walk away and then wait for them to pass. There's a bit of a problem because if I walk, say, there aren't really good corners in the room below me. So those birds, I feel like they could still run into me pretty easily. So I think instead I'm going to actually go up in that right. Because if they see me now, I'll just escape down the stairs. It'll take so few turns that I'll survive. And yeah, I thought I saw a mountain troll earlier. So yeah, like I said, we're seeing new monsters. Getting a little bit more experience. I don't think we can take more evasion, yeah. Hopefully we can take another point of evasion. Just slowly build it up until we have the 7 required for sprinting. There's some rubble there. And we have a shovel. But you need, I think, just 1 point of strength to move rubble. And we don't even have that. So we can't move rubble. So you might ask, why do we even have a shovel? The reason is, although we can't move it normally, if it's a desperate situation, we could take a potion of strength. There are so many of these guys. We're going to use our armor. We're going to use our quarterstaff. We are now more defensive, and most likely we're healing. I probably should have re-rolled this floor already, but yeah, we're fine. They're here again, but we're going to escape. We're going to go back up. We probably shouldn't have gone back up right there, actually, now that I think about it, because since we're taking a staircase 2 times in quick succession, if it had fallen, we would have taken some damage. And since we only have 10 health, we might have died. So that was silly, but it didn't, we were not punished. So let's take a look. The quarterstaff is still not identified. I would think that it would have identified itself as a quarterstaff of Mithrim because it would have increased our healing. Why was I not? Oh, because I was extremely stupid. I put the shield on and then I put the quarterstaff on, and putting the quarterstaff on because it's a 2-handed weapon, I removed the shield. So that was a waste of a turn. That's okay. Let's remove our leather armor. And we are now at 300 feet and 50 minutes. So I think that's good progress, honestly. That's about, I think, where I was at the end of the first episode of Ladros, which is encouraging. I don't want this to take too long, although I know everyone is just super excited to be watching me play the Pacifist. And is absolutely loving the combatless gameplay. Even so, I want to make sure that I keep this entertaining. We are seeing some Easterling warriors here, so that's excellent. We're going to get some experience for seeing some new monsters on these floors. And I think what we're going to do is go into this room, hang out in the corner, we're going to identify a couple stabs. So that just says you hear a click that just closed this door, so we know it's a staff of imprisonment. Let's just keep one of them. I always have a fantasy that someday I'll use the Staff of Imprisonment in a useful way, and it has not happened yet, but I could imagine it happening. Same with Staff of Shadows. I could imagine that it would like hide the character, but well, it's never come in handy in the past, so we did not identify those ones. Okay, let's take potion and take potion. Okay. Oh, I used imprisonment by accident. Is Scout doing? Okay, excellent. And we have more experience, so let's take evasion. And we can't take stealth. We'll take 1 point of evasion, and we'll save the other point for taking another point of stealth when we can. And that'll be enough. So, very exciting first episode. We got to 300 feet. We've got keen senses, we've got exchanged places. We've been increasing our stealth and evasion a little bit. We're still on the edge. This character is still very, very fragile. But we've got some tools on our side that can get us through. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. And next time, we'll be back with our character Earth. See you then.